Hi folks. So in this lesson we're going to be talking a little bit about exponential functions. First, an exponential function is a function of the form y equals a to the x power, where a is greater than 1. A is greater than 0. If a is greater than 1, we get exponential growth. However, if a is between 0 and 1, we get something called exponential decay. Most of the times it doesn't get much more complicated in calculus. Let's talk about some properties of exponential functions before we move forward. If you're multiplying two common bases, then that means that we just add the exponents. So this would be a to the x plus y. For an example that's more readily understood, you could say that a to the second times a to the third is a to the fifth. So if you keep going back to a simple problem like this, then this rule kind of makes sense. Number 2 tells us that we can subtract exponents if we are dividing common bases. So our answer could be a to the x minus y. Another legitimate answer would be something like 1 over a to the y minus x. Okay? So whichever one you are subtracting from, that's the one. So if you're subtracting from x up here, then you leave it in the numerator. But if you're subtracting from the bottom one, then you leave it in the denominator. All right, the next property is a power to a power property. And if you've raised a power to another power, then you can just multiply those two powers together. Again, I like using our a to the second to the third as a good example. So a to the second to the third is like a squared times a squared times a squared. And we remember that we are supposed to be adding those exponents if we are multiplying common bases. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So it checks out with this rule from part 1, and a shortcut would just be to multiply those. All right? And this next one, it says a to the negative x. So a to the negative x is going to be 1 over a to the positive x. All right? And then anything to the 0 power is just 1. The main exponential functions that we're going to be dealing with are 2 to the x, 10 to the x, and e to the x. All right? Y equals e to the x is, we will almost use that one exclusively in calculus. That one will show up all the time. All right, so that is your short recording on exponential functions.